15 times snakes messed with the wrong opponent. Get ready to see snakes facing enemies they didn't expect. Lightning-fast attacks, unexpected defenses, and moments of pure wild adrenaline. Who comes out on top? Who escapes unscathed? Discover the most surprising encounters that prove that sometimes even the deadliest predator can pick the wrong opponent. Watch and be amazed. But before we begin, subscribe to our channel and leave a like. Now, let's get started. Number 15, Snake vs. Mongoose. Imagine the African desert. The sun melts the horizon, the air seems to vibrate, and among the rocks, something moves. On one side, the snake, sinuous, silent, patient as death itself. On the other, the mongoose, a ball of muscles and reflexes, the terror of serpents. The snake needs no introduction. It is the universal symbol of danger. Its body is a living whip, its venom a lethal cocktail of enzymes and toxins. A successful strike and the victim doesn't even understand what happened. The world goes dark. But here's the curious part, the mongoose understands. And worse, it is not intimidated. As the snake rises, hood inflated, forked tongue probing the air, the mongoose steps sideways, then another. It's studying the rhythm, measuring the distance. Predator and anti-predator, a duel of precision. The snake is pure tension, muscles coiled, spring ready to launch. It strikes at lightning speed, less than 1/10 of a second. But the mongoose is nature's exception. Its reflexes are just too fast. It dodges, spins, jumps. And when the snake pulls back for a second strike, the mammal is already in motion. The mongoose is small, but carries an almost unfair biological advantage. Partial venom resistance. This means it can be bitten and keep fighting, as if evolution itself decided to level the playing field. And it's not just its body that protects it. It's clever. It uses the environment, tricks, provokes, waits for the perfect moment. In combat, the snake bets everything on a single move, the perfect strike. The mongoose bets on dozens of micro attacks, feints, jumps, advances, and retreats. One mistake, and the venom lands. But one hit, and sharp teeth find the reptile's neck. And when that happens, it's over. The mongoose coils, bites, twists, and within seconds, the snake is motionless. The dance ends as it began, with the silence of the desert. Now, let's be fair. The snake is a magnificent evolutionary machine, honed over millions of years. Neurotoxic venom, hyper-efficient muscles, thermal sensors, all designed to kill. But the mongoose is nature's glitch, a lucky error. It faces what no one else dares, and it wins. Winner, the mongoose. Strength, average. Reflexes, supernatural. Courage, insane. And you, reading this, feeling clever for dodging a late bill, know this: the mongoose faces the impossible every week before breakfast. It doesn't run from danger, it taunts it. So next time life feels like a snake about to bite, remember the little mongoose. Take a deep breath, step aside, and strike back. Number 14, Snake vs. Honey Badger. The snake slides silently, a living thread of venom and precision. Its body is pure elasticity and calculation, one continuous muscle. Its eyes, cold, watch its prey with the calm of one who knows a mistake means death. But a hit means a feast. A snake's strike can reach the speed of a blink. One touch of its curved fangs and venom circulates. Paralysis, darkness, death before the brain even registers danger. Patient, the terror of carelessness. On the other side, the honey badger appears as if unafraid of death itself. Small, robust, with the charisma of a tank, it is nature's equivalent of an undefeated street fighter, not just strength. Audacity. Its skin thick as boot leather and loose enough to twist inside when grabbed. Almost a grip-proof mode. Venom? It laughs at it, literally. Records show honey badgers bitten by lethal snakes, knocked out briefly, and waking up to continue lunch. The snake daring to challenge it. As the snake measures distance and timing, the badger charges as if fear is a concept invented by weaker animals. It doesn't dodge, it confronts. The strike comes, and the thick skin absorbs the impact. Venom enters but does not win. In seconds, the badger responds with a powerful bite, teeth embedded straight into the snake's skull. Brutal, direct, no poetry, raw nature in its purest form. The snake coils, but the badger spins, bites, crushes. In minutes, the snake is just a sad necklace on the desert floor. The badger licks its lips and keeps walking as if leaving a boring meeting. That's it. No drama, no trophy. Just another normal day for one of Earth's most stubborn and fearless creatures. Winner, the honey badger. Not the fastest, not the deadliest, but the toughest. Where the snake plays chess, the badger plays brawl, and in the end, the brawl wins. Now let's be honest, if you were an animal in this scene, who would you be? The calculating, elegant snake waiting for the perfect moment, or the badger facing the impossible head on and walking away with dinner in its paws? Think carefully. Nature doesn't give medals for beauty, only for survival. Number 13, snake versus short-toed eagle. Snake eagle. The snake eagle, or Circadus gallicus, is a specialist in creeping danger. Its golden eyes spot the slightest movement from over 500 meters away. Nothing escapes it, not even a snake slipping among rocks. When the sun warms the field and the air shimmers, it's a sign. The hunter is on patrol. With wide wings and silent flight, it patrols the land like a biological drone, scanning every ripple in the soil. The snake, however, is not merely a victim waiting for fate. It is a predator in its own right. Its body is strategy incarnate, spiral muscles, near impossible reflexes, venom capable of downing prey dozens of times its size. Every scale is shiny armor, every movement a bet between life and death. When it rises, the body forms a sculpture of power and threat. Its hiss is not just sound, it is a sentence. But the snake eagle does not fear. It was born for this duel. Its talons are long, curved, coated with keratin harder than tempered steel. Unlike other birds of prey, its legs are covered with thick scales, a natural shield against bites. Evolution itself seems to have designed a warrior with armor made to face venom. The snake bets on speed. A strike can reach prey in less than 1/10 of a second, but the eagle bets on something even deadlier: perfect timing. It dives silently, folds its wings, and in a second transforms air into weapon. Its talons grasp the snake just behind the head, where venom can't reach. One mistake, and it could be bitten, but it doesn't miss. As the snake writhes and coils around the eagle's legs, the bird lifts it like a trophy, spirals upward, and lands on a high branch. There, the conclusion is swift, almost elegant. A talon squeeze, a precise twist. End of duel. So the inevitable question, who is stronger? The snake has venom, dexterity, and terrifying endurance. It is the living shadow of the jungle, danger personified. But the eagle has strategy, altitude, and evolution on its side. It doesn't fight on impulse. It calculates, plans, and executes with surgeon-like precision. In a battle of instinct and intelligence, the eagle claims the title. Winner, the snake eagle. Queen of the sky and terror of snakes. And you, curious viewer, which side would you be on? The cold, venomous slither or the calculated flight of the hunter? Think carefully. Next time you see an eagle gliding above, it might have its eye on something or someone. Maybe the next curious reptile will be you looking up at the sky. Number 12, snake versus Indian gray mongoose. The king cobra rises from the ground like an ancestral specter, its body undulating in a ballet of pure tension. Its hiss cuts through the hot air like a war siren, a warning: one more step and you die. On the other side, the Indian gray mongoose watches, small, sleek, with eyes that mix innocence and calculation. Fluffy, maybe, but beneath that gray coat lies a biological machine built to defy the impossible. Yes, the mongoose is the anti-hero of reptiles. The king cobra has enough venom to kill an elephant. Its fangs can deliver up to 7 milligrams of neurotoxin in a single strike, enough to paralyze a human in minutes. It is long, elegant, methodical, like a samurai needing only one strike. Its bite's power lies less in physical force and more in chemical precision. Venom is the sword, it the silent assassin. But the mongoose is pure audacity wrapped in a 1 meter 4 kilogram body. Its agility is almost supernatural. It doesn't just see the strike, it predicts it. Its reflexes are so fast that by the time the reptile attacks, the mongoose has already jumped twice, spun in the air, and is behind its foe, ready to counterattack. Plus, it has a biological trump card: partial venom resistance. Proteins in its muscle receptors block the neurotoxin's effect. In other words, the snake's venom enters, and the mongoose just shrugs. The fight would be brief but intense. The snake rises, hisses, spreads its hood, aims. The mongoose feigns distraction, a fatal mistake for any other creature. But it knows the timing, waits for the strike, and in the moment the world holds its breath, it leaps, misses by millimeters, bites the snake's head, one sharp motion, a spin, and done. Silence. The king is dethroned by a furry underdog. The Indian gray mongoose is one of the few mammals that can face venomous snakes and walk away unscathed. It hunts by instinct, skill, and confidence bordering on divine arrogance. Street Fighter versus martial artist, and the Street Fighter wins. In direct combat, the snake bets on a perfect attack, the mongoose on unpredictability, and the result, winner, without a doubt, the Indian gray mongoose. It is the symbol of the impossible, the challenger who laughs at death. And you, reader, what would you do? Stand with the elegant, lethal Venom, or the tiny madman who knows no fear? Think carefully. Sometimes it's not size, strength, or power that wins. It's the courage to face the impossible and strike back. Number 11, snake versus bullfrog. The bullfrog, a sturdy amphibian with a notorious reputation in ponds, is not just a frog with a thunderous voice. It's a mouth with legs, a cannon of tongue and muscle, weighing nearly a kilo of pure hunger, and with an appetite for anything that moves. The bullfrog is the definition of eat first, ask questions later. Fish, rats, birds, if it fits in the mouth, it becomes lunch. And the worst part? It knows how to ambush. It stays motionless, eyes fixed, patience like a monk, until the target makes the mistake of coming closer. Its tongue springs out like a trap, game over. But sliding from the other side of the swamp comes the true creeping nightmare, the snake. Silent, cold, elegant like a professional assassin. No legs, no hurry, but with an instinct bordering on supernatural. Its body is pure strategy, every muscle moving like a wave of living steel, and when it decides to strike, the world freezes. The snake is a death engineer. Depending on the species, it can be a constrictor, coiling until its prey takes its last breath, or venomous, injecting a chemical cocktail that paralyzes muscles and dreams. Against a bulky amphibian like the bullfrog, it uses its best asset, precision, a perfect strike, jaw opening in absolute silence. But the bullfrog is no ordinary snack. It has hind leg strength worthy of a medieval catapult. When it senses danger, it jumps. And the jump is not escape, it's an attack. The impact can repel a smaller snake. And if the tongue latches on, the snake risks being pulled into the swamp. It's brute force versus cold calculation. Yet, the fight is short. In endurance, the snake is a marathon expert. It doesn't need to run, it just waits. While the frog tires, gasping, the serpent simply observes. One slide, one strike, and that's it. Fangs sink into the slippery skin. Venom takes effect and the amphibian's strength fails. The croak becomes silence. Within minutes, the bullfrog is immobile. The snake, patient, begins its dinner. Slowly, methodically, savoring the victory. Almost poetic if you don't think too hard about the digestion that comes afterward. Winner, the snake. Cunning, precision, and venom. A combination that beats muscle and impulse. The bullfrog is strong, but the snake plays chess while the frog is still learning checkers. Now tell me, reader, who were you rooting for? For the brute force of the bullfrog facing danger head on, or the venomous calm of the snake winning without haste? In the end, maybe the moral is simple. In life's swamp, those who move slowly but with purpose always end up swallowing those who leap without thinking. Number 10, snake versus snapping turtle. The snake is the symbol of rapid attack, silent precision, a body made of muscle and calculation. It doesn't bark, it doesn't roar, it doesn't warn, it just observes, slides, measures distance, and snap, strikes. Its reflexes are millimetric. Its strike pure natural mathematics. Venom or constriction, species doesn't matter. When a snake decides to attack, the fight usually ends before it even begins. But there's a catch. All this efficiency depends on surprise. If the opponent has a shell, the game changes. Enter the snapping turtle, the reptilian version of a tank, with jaws capable of snapping off human fingers or pieces of other turtle shells. It doesn't rush. It waits, motionless, camouflaged in the mud, mouth open, tongue trembling like a worm, a trick worthy of a professional fisherman. The snake's first mistake is approaching. The second, approaching too close. When the snake strikes, it doesn't find skin, it finds armor. The bite ricochets off the shell and the turtle doesn't move. A moment later, snap, the jaws close like a steel trap. No venom works there. The shell is a natural shield and the thick neck skin is nearly impenetrable. But don't underestimate fight the snake. It's agile, sinuous, and has something the turtle will never have: speed. If it finds the angle, it can bite the exposed neck, inject venom, and retreat before the shell moves an inch. The problem: finding that angle. The turtle keeps its body retracted, only showing what's necessary to strike, and its neck, when extended, is surprisingly long enough to make the snake retreat. Brute force versus deadly precision, shell versus agility. Nature loves these paradoxes, but in a direct fight, no tricks, no escape. Advantage goes to endurance, and in this case, the snapping turtle wins. It's an ambush predator, built to endure attacks and retaliate brutally. Even a venomous snake would struggle to pierce the thick skin. Meanwhile, the turtle's jaws could easily crush the snake's spine in one strike. Verdict: snapping turtle wins, not by speed, but by invulnerability. A tank that doesn't need to run because nothing can penetrate it. Now tell me, curious reader, if the snake represents lightning fast attack and the turtle represents endurance, which one would you be in life's fight? The lightning strike that ends everything in seconds, or the armored patience that wins in time? Think carefully. In the end, sometimes the world doesn't reward the fastest, but those who wait for the right moment to bite. Number 9. Snake vs. King Cobra. Snake vs. King Cobra, the duel of the royal scales. On one side, the common snake, agile, stealthy, deadly when it wants to be. Nature's symbol in its most efficient form: flexible body, fast strike, precise venom. Its weapon is subtlety. It doesn't waste energy. It waits, observes, calculates every move like a silent assassin wrapped in scales. When it strikes, it's a single blow, accurate, fast, nearly invisible. It could be a cobra, a rattlesnake, a viper. The name doesn't matter. The method is the same: aim, advance, inject death in seconds. Its venom turns muscle to jelly and wreaks havoc on the nervous system. But the true strength of the snake is strategy. Patient, camouflaged among dry leaves, almost part of the scenery. And for those who underestimate its size, it responds with speed and venom enough to bring down much larger prey. On the other side, the King Cobra. And if the name seems exaggerated, nature ensures it's not. The King Cobra is the reptilian equivalent of a tank with predator instincts. The largest venomous snake on the planet, over 5 meters long, it doesn't feed on rats, frogs, or lizards. No, it hunts other snakes, even venomous ones, including our competitor. Its venom isn't the most potent in the world, but the quantity is absurd. One bite releases enough toxin to kill an adult elephant. And if venom isn't enough, its size finishes the job. Muscles coil, dominate, crush. The King Cobra is cold, calculating, and relentless. When it advances, the movement is fluid, almost hypnotic. Hood rises, eyes lock on the target, air seems to pause. From strike to end, there's only one possible outcome: the opponent on the ground, motionless. And there's more: intelligence. It chooses where to bite, how to immobilize, when to squeeze. A strategist with military execution instinct. Combat comparison: speed, advantage common snake, smaller, lighter, strikes like lightning. Physical strength, point for King Cobra. Its size and musculature are nearly disproportionate. Venom, advantage to common snake and potency, but King Cobra compensates in dosage and control. Resistance, King Cobra withstands small doses of venom from other snakes, even those lethal to mammals. Intimidation, no contest. The mere raised hood warns that the conversation is over. Final result, when they meet, the outcome is almost always the same. The King Cobra not only survives, it feeds on the other. While the common snake bets on speed and venom, the king bets on strength, strategy, and the ancestral instinct to hunt its own kind. It bites, coils, and devours calmly, as if reaffirming its crown. Winner, King Cobra, always. And you thinking being king was just a fancy title, right? Now imagine, you're in the forest, hear that soft sound, almost a whisper sliding through the leaves, and see two shadows facing off. Heart racing. One is the snake, the other is the king. Spoiler, if you were the snake, running wouldn't help. Number 8, snake versus caiman. The jungle falls silent. The water moves slowly. There, hidden along the muddy banks, two masters of disguise face each other without moving. On one side, the snake, cold, sinuous, patient as time itself. On the other, the caiman, motionless like a log, but with the strength of an amphibious tank. Both are predators, but each rules a different domain. And now, these worlds collide. The snake, depending on the species, can exceed 5 meters in length. Pure muscle, every curve of its body is a weapon, every move calculated. When it tightens, it's not a hug, it's a sentence. The constriction strength of an anaconda or python is enough to stop the heart of an animal in seconds. Additionally, its ability to strike with millimeter precision, coil, hold, and immobilize makes it a lethal strategist. Silence is its language, patience its greatest weapon. But the caiman is a different kind of monster. It is the embodiment of discreet brutality. While the snake hunts by tactics, the caiman hunts by ambush. With a bite capable of applying over 2 tons of pressure per square centimeter, it can crush shells, bones, and of course, anything that dares move in front of its jaws. And when it performs the feared death roll, that deadly spin underwater, no muscle or scale can resist. The snake has the advantage on land, flexibility and mobility, especially in dry or dense areas. The caiman, however, is nearly invincible in the water, an amphibious predator with night vision, sharp hearing, and an ancestral survival instinct. It can stay submerged for up to 15 minutes, waiting for the perfect moment, as if time doesn't exist. In a direct confrontation, the snake's weak point is exposure. If the caiman gets the first bite, it's over. The snake won't have time to coil or squeeze. On the other hand, if the snake manages to wrap around the caiman out of the water, it could suffocate it. But this would require near impossible balance. The reptile's bony armor and shell make this mission nearly suicidal. So who wins this clash of titans? The caiman. It wins not through speed, but through defense and brute force. Its skin is practically a wall, its jaws a living trap, and underwater it is king. The snake, impressive as it may be, has no advantage in an environment dominated by a predator that combines patience and power in prehistoric proportions. But hold on, viewer, before you declare the caiman the absolute champion, consider this. What if the fight took place elsewhere, on solid ground, away from the water, with the sun scorching the reptile's scaly back and the snake sliding skillfully among the roots? The story could change. Nature is a game of territory, and each is king in its own. Now tell me, who would really win if the battlefield were neutral? The snake, master of silent constriction, or the caiman, tyrant of the dark waters? Choose your champion, but beware, you might be next under observation. Number 7, snake versus otter. The snake, master of ambush, is the symbol of lethal silence. No legs, no hurry, no mercy. It moves with a fluidity that defies logic. Its body is a living rope, a mixture of muscle and precision. Every contraction is calculated, every lunge, a blow honed by millions of years of evolution. When the prey least expects it, bam, the strike happens. Depending on the species, this strike may carry venom capable of paralyzing the nervous system in seconds. In combat, it relies on surprise, energy efficiency, and of course, fear. The snake wins before it even strikes. Intimidation is its weapon. But on the other side, the otter. And my friend, underestimating an otter is asking to leave defeated and humiliated. Cute in appearance, with curious eyes and a playful demeanor, it hides predatory efficiency worthy of an aquatic ninja. Its paws are adapted to swim like torpedoes and grasp firmly, while sharp teeth and a powerful jaw make any crab think twice before appearing nearby. The otter's agility is absurd. In water, it is practically a living shadow, able to dive, spin, and change direction in fractions of a second. Here begins the clash of forces. The snake is patience and precision personified. The otter is agility and intelligence incarnate. On land, the snake has the advantage. It can prepare its strike, use the terrain, and deliver a devastating venomous bite. But the otter rarely exposes itself in that environment. It knows its territory, and underwater, the advantage completely flips. The snake loses speed, stability, and worst of all, oxygen. The otter, on the other hand, gains everything. It swims around the snake, dodges attacks with ease, and can even bite strategic points to incapacitate the reptile. Moreover, the otter is not just clever, it is methodically cruel. There are records of otters preying on snakes with terrifyingly efficient technique, biting at the base of the head and shaking the prey until it stops reacting. And it's not always about hunger. Sometimes it's pure territoriality. agility. Yes, that cute little creature ready for a hug can be an expert executioner when threatened. While the snake relies on strike and toxin, the otter relies on endurance, speed, and coordination. The snake is a one-hit fighter. The otter is an army in constant motion. When it comes to endurance, the mammal wins easily. It can fight for minutes without losing breath, while the snake tires quickly if it doesn't finish the attack immediately. Ultimately, the battle between these two is a clash of kingdoms. Land versus water, patience versus agility, venom versus intelligence. When looking at the bigger picture, the winner is clear. The otter takes this one. It has environment, dexterity, and cunning on its side. The snake is dangerous, yes, but the otter is unpredictable. And in nature, the faster thinker survives longer. Now tell me, viewer, after learning that this plush-looking little guy can beat a venomous snake, will you still think of the otter as just a cute animal? Or will you look at it with the respect reserved for a true aquatic assassin disguised as fluff? Watch your next dive. There may be someone smiling at you, and it's not a friend. Number 6, snake versus gamecock. Snake versus gamecock. Who rules the yard? On one side, the serpent. Cold, silent, hypnotic. A thread of muscle and venom, ready to strike with lightning speed. On the other, the gamecock, a ball of feathered fury equipped with sharp spurs and an explosive temperament. Two completely different worlds about to collide. The slithering against the feathered, cunning versus aggression. Let's start with the snake. It is not just an animal. It is a living strategy. Its strength lies not in raw muscle, but in precision, patience, and lethal chemistry. A well-placed strike can inject neurotoxins enough to paralyze any opponent in seconds. The snake's body is a multifunctional weapon. It can coil, constrict, immobilize, and, of course, bite. The secret? Timing. The snake waits for the opponent's mistake, that millisecond of carelessness that turns a hunter into prey. But here's the catch. The snake relies on the ground. Its movement is horizontal, controlled, and silent. Against a fast hopping opponent with aerial attacks, the game changes. Enter the gamecock. And here, my friend, things heat up. This bird wasn't made to greet the dawn. It was made for war. The gamecock is pure muscular explosion. It has absurd reflexes, panoramic vision, and an almost supernatural instinct for detecting movement. A simple rustle in the grass, and it leaps, pecks, kicks, and strikes as if the ground were a rural UFC ring. The spurs on its legs act like natural daggers. A well-placed strike can pierce, tear, or disorient the opponent in seconds. And don't forget, the gamecock has irrational courage. Even injured, it continues attacking until the last breath. It's a mix of speed, aggression, and pure determination. While the snake bets on calm, the gamecock bets on chaos. Analyzing the battle, the snake has an advantage in enclosed areas, where it can ambush and strike venomously before the opponent reacts. But against the gamecock, which jumps and moves in frantic circles, that precision is compromised. The bird is unpredictable, and unpredictability is what the snake fears most. Moreover, the gamecock's reflexes are too fast. Before the snake can land an effective strike, it has probably already received a series of pecks and spur strikes. Every blow is sharp and precise, and the bird doesn't stop. What weighs against the gamecock is vulnerability to venom. A single snake bite would be fatal if it lands, and that "if" is big enough to change the outcome. In the end, the winner is the gamecock. Why? Because it turns the battlefield into a storm of feathers and fury. Its mobility, reflexes, and courage put it above the snake in a direct confrontation. Venom only wins when it hits, and against an opponent that never stands still, that's nearly impossible. And now, viewer, if a farm bird can face a snake and emerge victorious, what would you do in the face of danger? Stand still, waiting for the strike, or charge forward with chest out and a fearless gaze? Because, in the end, the moral is simple. Sometimes courage beats venom. Number 5, snake versus skunk. Snake versus skunk. The duel between venom and deadly stink. Imagine an open field at dusk. The silence is broken by a subtle rustle in the grass. On one side, gliding with the cold elegance of a professional assassin, comes the snake. Tense muscles, eyes fixed, forked tongue probing the air. It doesn't bark, roar, or make a fuss. It just moves, with the lethal serenity of one who knows a mistake can cost a life. but a well-placed strike ends any argument. On the other side, a small warrior with a raised tail and white stripes, the skunk. It may look funny, even cute, but this little mammal carries one of nature's most feared chemical weapons. It's not physical strength or speed, it's pure olfactory terror. Its spray can reach up to 3 meters, and if it hits the eyes, causes temporary blindness. The smell is so potent it can be detected for kilometers. Predators learn quickly. Messing with a skunk is the same as losing your nose and your dignity. The snake, of course, has advantages: reflexive agility, a flexible body, venom that paralyzes and kills quickly. In combat, it's a lightning attack. Silent, lethal, perfect predator. But the skunk is no easy target. It doesn't run, it doesn't hide. On the contrary, it warns, raises its tail, arches its body, and in a defensive ballet, aims at the enemy. What looks comical is a universal danger signal. Even a lion would think twice before continuing. And if the snake attacks, that's when nature shows its cruel sense of humor. The skunk is immune to many types of snake venom, including rattlesnakes and coral snakes. This means that even if bitten, it doesn't fall. It counterattacks with its spray, and suddenly the snake becomes a perfect example of miss the target and pay dearly. A cloud of unbearable odor surrounds the serpent, which starts retreating, blinded and disoriented. The skunk may not be an offensive predator, but its defense is so effective that few animals dare challenge it again. While the snake depends on surprise and millimeter precision, the skunk survives through warning and resilience. It's a classic case of David surviving not by strength, but by pure evolutionary strategy. So who comes out on top in this showdown? In nature's ring, the skunk wins. Not through strength, not through agility, but because its weapon is so effective it completely nullifies the snake's advantage. The serpent loses surprise, venom loses effect, and the predator becomes prey. Through shame, desperation, or simply the desire to escape that infernal smell. And now, viewer, if you had to face one of these two, which would you choose? The snake's silent bite, or the skunk's unforgettable perfume? Think carefully, because in the end, nature loves to play with us. And the scariest isn't always the most dangerous. Sometimes the real victor is the one that stinks the most. Number 4, snake versus ferret. The ferret may be small, yes, but don't be fooled. Inside this long, furry body lives a born predator, agile, curious, with reflexes almost instantaneous. It seems crafted by evolution itself to handle slippery creatures. And when it comes to facing a snake, it doesn't tremble. It thrives. The ferret, or its wild cousin, the weasel, has a flexible body capable of twisting like rubber. This skill allows it to evade bites, slip through bushes, and strike vulnerable spots on its prey with incredible speed. Its teeth are short but razor sharp, and the bite is precise, usually targeting the base of the skull, where it can quickly paralyze the snake. Moreover, it has natural resistance to certain venoms. Not complete immunity, but enough to withstand a strike that would collapse many other animals. On the other side, the snake brings a formidable arsenal to the fight. Silent, calculating, moving like a living shadow, it is the embodiment of predatory patience. Its body is pure muscular force, capable of coiling and crushing with hydraulic press power, or depending on the species, injecting venom with surgical efficiency. A snake's strike can exceed 100-kilometer range, a motion too fast for the human eye to follow. But the problem is that the ferret reads the snake's body like an open book. When the strike comes, it's already gone. It spins, lunges, and attacks again, always aiming for the right spot. Don't be fooled, it's relentless. While the snake relies on a single perfect strike, the ferret has energy for dozens. It's like comparing a sniper to a caffeinated MMA fighter. In terms of strategy, the snake bets everything on a lightning-fast attack. If it hits, victory is certain. If it misses, things get complicated. The ferret, on the other hand, thrives in chaos, confusing, provoking, wearing down, and ultimately winning through technique and persistence. Even larger snakes, like vipers or small pythons, can become prey. Winner, the ferret. It combines agility, intelligence, and natural venom tolerance. A lethal trio against any snake that crosses its path. In a realistic confrontation, the snake would need a perfect initial strike. Otherwise, it's just another scaly body dragged away for dinner. And now, tell me, would you have bet on the snake? Admit it. At first it seemed fair, but now you're seeing the ferret in a whole new light, aren't you? This little furry demon is living proof that size doesn't define strength. In the wild, sometimes victory belongs to the cleverest. And in this case, the ferret is the true champion. Number 3, snake versus domestic cat. The domestic cat, small, agile, and elegant, a natural hunter disguised as a pet. Behind those curious eyes and innocent purrs lies a predator that inherited from big, wild cats every trace of cunning, reflexes, and precision. It doesn't need size to command respect. It has technique, speed, and an instinct that screams, "Don't come too close." On the other side, the snake. Cold, patient, silent, a symbol of calculated lethality. Its body is a living rope of muscles and venom, capable of turning a single misstep into a death sentence. While the cat relies on sight and hearing, the snake senses vibrations in the ground, detects heat, and strikes with perfect timing. It's a duel between feline agility and reptilian cold-bloodedness. The cat has near superhuman reflexes. It can react in less than 100 milliseconds to sudden movements, something even professional boxers would envy. It observes, measures distance, retreats, and strikes. A precise paw swipe, claws extended, can act like a small blade against scales. And the most impressive part, many cats instinctively recognize the danger of snakes. They arch their backs, bristle their fur, and make that famous "foo" sound, as if saying, "I know what you are." But the snake is not intimidated by theatrics. It is the kind of opponent that bets everything on a single move. One strike, one instant. A bite with explosive speed, on average faster than the blink of an eye. The cat can be fast, but the snake is precise. If it's a venomous species, one mistake is fatal. If it's a constrictor, the game changes. It would try to coil around the cat, squeezing until the last breath. However, there's a detail that makes all the difference: the environment. In open spaces, the cat has room to dodge and counterattack. In confined spaces, the advantage can shift to the snake, which moves more easily in tight areas. But in most cases, the cat has the upper hand for a simple reason. It's curious but not foolish. It doesn't attack head-on. It tests, provokes, retreats. And if the opponent shows venom, it backs off. Survival. That's the real victory in the animal world. Now, if we talk about who is stronger in direct combat, the score is tight. The snake has nature's deadliest biological weapon, venom. The cat has agility, endurance, and tactical intelligence, but no antidote, no room for error. In a lethal showdown, the snake has the advantage. Its strike is faster than any claw, and its venom is unstoppable. But fear not, cat lovers. This doesn't mean your feline loses every time. In real encounters, many cats have expelled, confronted, and even killed small snakes. The difference lies in the snake's size and type. A cat against a small snake, cat wins. Against a venomous or large snake, the balance tips completely. So who is stronger overall? Winner, snake. Not by brute force, but by pure lethality. A silent assassin, a champion of precision, the nightmare of any mistake. Now tell me, viewer, if your cat saw a snake in the yard today, who would you bet on? Be careful. In the wild, a single second of distraction can make the difference between a meow and silence. Number 2, snake versus dog. The tension in the air is palpable. On one side, the snake, sinuous, patient, deadly, a body that seems pure muscle, ready to strike. It doesn't need to run, doesn't need to bark, it just waits for the perfect moment. On the other side, the dog, a symbol of loyalty and protective instinct. But today, there's no owner to defend. Today, it's just him. Sharp nose, heart racing. The snake watches, the dog sniffs. It's the encounter of silence and sound. The serpent knows that any wrong move could be fatal. After all, one miscalculated bite and the dog could crush its body with a simple shake. But it has an ace up its sleeve. Venom, a precise strike, and the opponent falls before understanding what happened. The snake's power lies in precision. Its body is a flexible weapon, capable of coiling and striking at nearly imperceptible speeds. Some species can deliver over 200 millimoles of neurotoxin in a single bite, enough to bring down a cow. Its muscular strength allows it to immobilize much larger prey, and its survival instinct is pure reflex. It doesn't hesitate. One mistake could be fatal, so every move is calculated and surgical. But the dog is no easy prey. It was born to hunt, chase, and react. Its advantage lies in agility and scent, sensing danger even before seeing it. Breeds like Jack Russell or Terrier were specifically developed to deal with snakes and small predators. They are fast, intelligent, and have impressive reflexes. A dog can dodge a strike if alert, and if it reaches the snake's neck, it's over. Add the surprising bite force, over 300 psi for some breeds, and it's more than enough to crush thin bones and snap the snake's vertebrae. Another factor, protective instinct. The dog isn't just fighting for itself, it's fighting to eliminate the threat. In this mode, it becomes unpredictable, brave to the point of recklessness. The snake relies on calculation, the dog relies on emotion, and sometimes emotion wins. But hold on, the environment matters. In open spaces, the dog has the advantage. It can circle, distract, and attack from different angles. In a confined area, the snake dominates. A rapid strike, a precise bite, and the outcome is sealed. So, who wins? In terms of pure lethality, the snake has the edge. Its venom is a devastating biological weapon, and one strike can decide the fight. But in the real world, most encounters favor the dog. It has superior reflexes, lateral vision, speed, and hunting instinct. Most snakes can't withstand a rapid sequence of bites, especially from smaller, agile dogs. Therefore, in the symbolic duel between cunning and courage, the throne goes to the dog. The warrior that doesn't retreat faces danger head on, and usually leaves with tail wagging while the snake lies still. Now tell me, viewer, would you bet on the silent strike of the snake or the latent bravery of the dog? Think carefully, sometimes the loudest wins, and courage may be the best antidote. Number 1, snake versus raccoon. The jungle sleeps, but two worlds are about to collide, the slithering and the cunning. On one side, the snake, silent, patient, an assassin made of muscles and venom. On the other, the raccoon, clever, restless, a nocturnal thief with the nimblest hands in the forest. This isn't a duel of brute force, it's a duel of brain versus instinct, venom versus intelligence. The snake, queen of discretion, doesn't need to rush. Its body is a living trap that closes with millimeter precision. It senses the world through its tongue, feels vibrations in the ground, and reads the environment like an open book. In a confrontation, the attack is swift and decisive. One bite, a lethal injection of toxins, and the enemy has seconds to realize its mistake. It has no legs, no claws, no expressive eyes, but it has what many predators envy: time and efficiency. If it's a constrictor, venom gives way to strength. It coils, squeezes, and silence. A living weapon that never wastes energy. On the other side, the raccoon. The raccoon is chaos in plush form. Intelligent beyond most mammals, it can open lids, doors, and even trick traps. Its small claws are precise. Its front paws have the dexterity of human hands, and that changes everything. The raccoon doesn't confront, it analyzes. It tests, observes, retreats, and returns. It's curious and, more importantly, adaptable. It has faced snakes before, and knows the secret is to maintain distance and use terrain to its advantage. Its thick fur, although not armor, offers some protection against quick bites. And it's not foolish. It understands danger. If the snake raises its hood, it doesn't advance. It teases, distracts, throws leaves, circles around, appearing close, but never enough. The snake acts on impulse. The raccoon acts on calculation. But who wins this hypothetical showdown? It depends on the snake. A viper or rattlesnake could decide the game with a single strike. A non-venomous snake or medium constrictor. The raccoon has the advantage. It's fast, unpredictable, and has incredible reflexes. It can attack the eyes, bite, escape, climb trees, and even use the snake's tail as a distraction. In intelligence, resilience, and mobility, the raccoon wins. In lethality and precision, the snake reigns. Final verdict, raccoon. Not for physical strength, but for the ability to outsmart the enemy. It may not be the deadliest, but it survives the most. In the wild, survival is the true trophy, and you, which side would you take? The snake's deadly silence or the raccoon's playful cunning? Think carefully, sometimes the cleverest wins, and maybe one day the raccoon is just waiting for the perfect moment to turn the tables. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed our content, subscribe to our channel and leave a like. Also, check out other interesting content appearing on your screen right now, and I'll see you in the next video. Until next time.